People will purposely go out of their way to try to bait you into breaking TOS so they can get you thrown off a platform, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Conservatives made a huge mistake when they talk about things like freedom of association and who businesses can or can't serve and things like this, and they make a push towards that. Because one of the blowback portions of that is that now they have to deal with businesses refusing them if they won't get a COVID vaccination. And they also have to deal with massive deplatforming on social media. And they have no arguments against it because they're private companies, and they've been advocating for the last 60 years that private companies should be able to do exactly just this. That's the unintended blowback of having an ideological set that you haven't worked out to the very end of the set. In this particular case, I don't think that conservatives really have anything that they can say about the deplatforming from tech companies, considering that they've been advocating for many, many years that private entities should be able to do whatever the hell they want when it comes to their own private property. In this case, they are starting to lean more towards arguments like this is the new public arena, this is the new public square, this is, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, because they want to get their content out there. But unfortunately, they dug the hole for themselves, and it's very difficult now for them to dig their way out of the hole. So that's why we're where we're at. How do I feel about the deplatforming itself? I think it's disgusting on both sides. And it probably shouldn't happen to progressives, or it shouldn't happen to conservatives. But conservatives do it as much as progressives do. And they try to bait each other into breaking TOS so they can report each other, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's like a big game now. I don't really even blame the tech companies so much for the social deplatforming as much as I blame the two ideologies constantly butting heads, looking for ways to deplatform the other people. This often you'll see this on Twitch, or you'll see it on YouTube. And the more I've been behind the scenes, the more I've seen this happen, where people will purposely go out of their way to try to bait you into breaking TOS so they can get you thrown off a platform, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't think that it's nearly as cut and dry as YouTube hates conservatives, so they throw them off. I think there's a lot more to it than that.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think that there should be some sort of like government oversight to stop social media entities from being able to do that sort of thing?
I do. I don't think that there's any problem with the government enforcing what we consider to be moral value structures. One of the things about a moral value structure when it comes to corporations is that they're treated like people. And if they're treated like people, they should probably be held to the same standard that we hold people. And unless you're going to roll back the fact that they're treated like people, and if you're going to do that, then maybe we can have a different conversation. But I do think that government intervention in private business, especially large corporations, is not only okay, but in many ways completely necessary.